everyone, welcome back to the second part of my last minute trip to Australia. So now starting with the third day, I took the Great Ocean road trip again with the same tour agency as the first day. So I'm back in the big bus with USB ports on top so that we can charge our phone, and also back with the nice big group of people. So first stop, we are going to go to the gate that says Great Ocean Road. So stop for a very short time. I think it was only like 10 minutes to just take pictures and look around. This is the nice neighborhood where we are going to have our lunch. Again, for this trip, no lunch is included in the tour, so we have to look for our own lunch. And for the Great Ocean Road and 12 Apostles, we decided to take the trip, and it costed $207.46 for 2 people. I decided to buy a pasta with a lot of cheese, and this cost $9 Australian. There's also like a bazaar, just very nice market there, but we didn't buy anything because everything was kind of expensive. But we did find a small shop near the neighborhood that sold secondhand clothes for only $1 Australian for one piece. There was also a beach near the place that we had lunch, so we took a walk just to look around the beach. It was also very nice because the sand was really white. We also made a stop in this beautiful place where we were allowed to just walk around, enjoy the weather, and ate some ice cream.
Mama mengganggu para burung-burung.
So in this place there were many spots that you can go to. I decided to go down to the small beach and also went to the Shipwreck. But actually I expected to see the ship like a shipwreck, but unfortunately it was just like a place where the shipwreck was located, but you couldn't really see the ship itself. But it was very breathtaking, the view, so it was kind of worth it. It was kind of a long way in, but yeah, I think it was only about 10 minutes walk, so it was fine. This is the main attraction, which is the 12 Apostles, and unfortunately because of the sea, so actually you couldn't see all 12 because some of them have already been damaged and basically destroyed by the waves. But nevertheless, it was still an amazing view. So that's a wrap for the tour. Then we went back home. We were dropped off back in our hotel, and we had a nice dinner afterwards by ourselves.
$17. 17. My amount? 18? $18. Ini tuna kan? How much was yours? 17. Expensive. Brunch.
This is breakfast for us.
So after 3 days of tour ended, I met with my friend Caris, and also I went to this DFO in South Wharf where there are lots of branded shops, but the prices are not as expensive as you would find them in other places in Australia, in Melbourne. So that concludes my last minute trip to Australia. I just want to give my own impressions of Melbourne actually and Victoria. So the first impression when I just got off the airplane and it was in the airport, I was really amazed because almost all of the signs and all of the advertisements were shown in Chinese language. So I was really surprised because I was like, everything should be in English, but it wasn't. Like there were so many signs, and even the announcement in the airport used Chinese language. So I was really surprised. And then even when I walked all around the city, most of the signs, not most of the signs, but a lot of the signs, they were shown in the Chinese characters. So there are so many different kinds of Asian food, like Vietnamese, Japanese, Korean, Chinese. And yeah, I was really surprised because I didn't expect that. But it turned out that actually Melbourne as the whole city, it's kind of it was kind of familiar because it was like you can see Asians everywhere, like they're everywhere. And then the second point is that I think when I visited Melbourne and Australia, what I would like to say is that I like the scenery the most, because like there are people who go to places for the food, some people who go for the scenery, some people go for adventures and so on. But I think Melbourne, Australia is like all about scenery. Like you just you have so many things to see, the beaches, the view, the vineyard and so on. So I think if you go there, what you are looking for is just like most of them are like the scenery, not so much to the food or like adventure, but more to the scenery, in my point of view. And the last point, I think that everything was a little bit expensive. I don't know whether it's because I come from Indonesia and I also live in China and everything is so cheap where I come from, but I think Melbourne is quite expensive. in terms of like living costs. The cost of the food, yeah, basically like the cost of the food and stuff and like clothes and everything, I think it was kind of expensive. It might be because of the exchange rate, I'm not sure, but I think in my point of view it was quite expensive. So yeah, those were my impressions of Melbourne, but now I'm going to give you some tips that I got from visiting Melbourne. So the first tip, I think you've already known, I've told you before, is that it's better to take the day tours. I think they are very convenient and not so expensive, and also if you would like to just go around the city, I think you can like only spend like a day or two. But if you want to go and see the places that I've been to, you have to take like the day tour, or you can like rent a car. But I think I prefer to just, you know, book a day tour than like driving by yourself, because first, you don't know the way, second, it's very far. Most of the journeys are like over an hour, so if you drive, then you'll be tired, and you also don't know like what is the best route. So I think it's best to just take the day tours in Australia, like in Melbourne, like when you arrive in the city, instead of like booking beforehand also, because when you book, like for example, if I book tours that are not local, they are from my country, sorry, or like from Singapore, Malaysia, or even like India, they are more expensive than just booking the day tour on the spot. Yeah. And my second tip is that you don't have to buy water, because over there almost all of the restaurants, they provide free drinks, free water. Normally it's like plain water, or what do you call it again? Let me think about it. So you don't have to buy drinks over there. And I think drinks are also quite expensive. Like even if I go to the supermarket, most of the drinks are quite expensive if I convert it to Indonesian rupiah or Chinese yuan. So yeah. And the third one is that I think you have to have brunch over there. That's what my friend told me. She is a Malaysian who has lived there for quite a long time. And because I keep on asking her, like, I want to go to like a restaurant that serves local food, and she was like not so sure about it, but she really recommended like the brunch, because like when you go for brunch, normally the food are more Western, but if you just walk through the streets, most of the food over there are either like I can't really say junk food, but like junk food, like Burger King. No, they don't have Burger King, they have like Hungry Jack and like, you know, those kind of fast food, or Chinese food, Japanese food, Korean food, Italian food. So there's no like local food, because like what's local? It's like, you know, because I think Melbourne is I think Australia as a whole is a country of immigrants. So the real people are like the Aboriginal. So they don't exactly have like a certain local food over there. So the best that you can do is to go for brunch. And yeah, that's in my point of view. So you have to try the brunch, because it was amazing. They are very good with the way they combine different food together, from the desserts. Also, if you want to have bagels and vegetables and meat, they also have an awesome combination of those kind of food. So yeah, you have to try the brunch. And then, okay, so number 4, there is a free tram zone in the city, so you can check it out. So a certain part of the city, like the main city, has a free tram zone. So it means that you can get on and get off without paying anything. You just get on and you just get off. And yeah, so that's very convenient. If you want to go there and explore the city, you can also do that, but it is kind of limited outside of the free tram zone, and you have to pay. And my friend told me that it's a bit expensive to buy the card, because you have to purchase the card for like, I don't remember, but it's like above 10 Australian dollars, and that's just like for the card. So yeah, I think it's better to just take the free tram zone, and other than that you can take like taxi and so on and so forth. And also another tip is that so I had to go to the airport
midnight, like no, it wasn't midnight, it was like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. because my flight is very early in the morning, and the bus that I took to get to the hotel from the airport was not available during that time. So if any of you who also has very early flights or like very late flights, you can take this. I will show you like the link below. This is where I just book a trip to the airport. It was very easy. I book it online, and you just have to say where you need to be pick up and which terminal you want to get off. And you can also actually book them if you want to go to your hotel from the airport. For example, you have a very late or a very early flight in. So that was also quite convenient, because other than that, if you take a taxi, it's quite expensive to go to the city from the airport. The last tip number 5, is that if you want to go to Melbourne, I think what's quite cheap compared to the prices if you have bought the stuff in your own country are either perfumes or vitamins, because most of my friends, they really ask me to buy a lot of vitamins, like for a lot of different kinds of vitamins. They are available in a near drugstore, like chemist warehouse, and you can buy a lot of vitamins over there for much cheaper price than if you buy it in your own country. Unless your own country is New Zealand, then I guess then it should be the same. But yeah, if you are from Asia or like from Europe, even if you want to get cheaper vitamins, you can get them in Australia. And also perfumes, and don't buy perfumes like in the perfume store, but you can also buy it in chemist warehouse. So I bought perfume over there, and it costed really cheap. I was very surprised. So yeah, those are the 2 things I think that you can buy to bring back to your country. And also you can get what you call it, tax refund. You can get it in the airport. So my friend told me that you can download an application. The name of the application is TRS, Tourist Refund Scheme. Tourist Refund Scheme, TRS. So you can download the application and then just follow all of the instructions. You have to fill out like the code of the store and what are the things that you buy and stuff like that, and then it has to account to above I think above 150. I have to check that again, but yeah, above like 200 Australian dollars. And in the same store, it doesn't have to be in the same receipt, but it has to be in the from the same store. Then you can get the tax refund, and it's quite good. I think it was around like 10 to 15%. So you can get that back to your credit card, and you have to fill up the application form like online, and then you can go to the place in the airport. So basically you have to before you check in your luggage, you have to go to this place below the departure level. Like I think on the arrival level, you can go to the place over there, and then they are going to check your luggage, like for the things that you bought, and also check your receipt. I think I didn't do that because my flight was very early, so it wasn't open. But after I passed through the immigration, there's also another place where you can basically give them in the application. After you have filled up everything, they are going to give you a QR code that they are going to scan, and then basically just do whatever they do and give you back, like basically saying that it will be refunded, I think 10% of the total amount. And I didn't have to check the luggage and stuff because it was very early. But I think if it's like a normal flight in the middle of the afternoon, then you have to go before you check in your luggage. On the arrival level, you have to first show your luggage, and then after the immigration, you can give it to the place over there. You have to queue up, and they're going to do their own stuff, and basically, yeah, you're gonna get the refund back to your credit card. So that was it. My tips and also impressions of Melbourne, Australia. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or any comments, and I know I'm not like a local, so if there are some mistakes in my information, I apologize beforehand. But yeah, if you have any comments or anything that you would like to tell me, you can say it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next vlog. Bye.